looking to connect a region of over 600 cultural bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Maricar Velasco, delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region. And now to the news. Tropical storm Kamuri has maintained strength as it moves westward on Thursday. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration said in its 10 a.m. forecast that Kamuri is expected to enter the Philippine area of responsibility between Sunday, December 1 and Monday, December 2 and will be locally named Tisoy. Kamuri was last observed at 1,430 kilometers east of Visayas with maximum sustained winds of 120 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 150 kilometers per hour. It is moving west-northwest at 10 kilometers per hour. Outer rain bands may begin affecting Bicol region's Samar area on Monday. Peak of heavy rains will affect Central Luzon, Metro Manila, Bicol region, Calabarzon, Mindoro, Marinduque, and Romblon on Tuesday and possibly even on to Wednesday morning depending on to the speed of the typhoon and the track orientation when it crosses land. During the same period, occasional to frequent heavy rains over northern Luzon due to interaction of the typhoon with tail end of a cold front or TECF. Rains will gradually weaken in terms of intensity, frequency, and duration by Thursday, except for areas in extreme northern Luzon due to TECF. Based on latest data, Kamuri will continue intensifying before making landfall in southern Luzon on Tuesday. Weakening is expected when it crosses land but may remain within typhoon category. Malacanang remains optimistic that the Philippines' hosting of the 30th Southeast Asian Games will conclude with flying colors despite controversies besetting the regional sports meet. While President Rodrigo Duterte had raised concerns over the supposed mishandling of the SEA Games preparations by the private organizing panel, he wanted unity among Filipinos to ensure the successful conduct of the biennial multi-sport event, presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said Thursday. Issues on unfinished venues, transportation, accommodation, food, and other logistics hound the country's hosting of the SEA Games ahead of its formal opening at the Philippine Sports Arena in Bocaue, Bulacan on November 30. The 30th SEA Games will take place from November 30 to December 11. The Philippine SEA Games Organizing Committee, or PHISGOC, a private entity responsible for the preparations for the SEA Games, assured the country on Wednesday that the concerns raised by participating countries have already been ironed out. Panelo expressed hope that the PHISGOC, led by House of Representatives Speaker Alan Cayetano, would learn from its mistakes and become more creative to ensure the Philippines' successful hosting. Transport delays, footballers training in the streets, a chaotic final build-up has put the Philippines under pressure before the Southeast Asian Games open on Saturday. However, athletes and players for the Southeast Asian Games don't seem to mind all these controversies. Instead, they continue to practice for their competitions.
Ang focus lang po kasi namin yung SEA Games, kung yung ang goal po namin. Hindi na po namin pinapakinggan yung mga ganun. Super support po sila sa amin. Lahat naman po binibigay nila sa amin. Lahat ng kailangan namin.
Earlier, Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri led a synchronized demo of the martial arts Arnis in the Senate. To recall, the senator was declared world champion in Arnis back in 1989. Senator Zubiri is also the current president of the Philippine Eskrima Cali Arnis Federation and also one of the managers of the athletes.
Regional qualifiers from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, and NCR. At yung mga nakita nyo dito, yan mga gold medalists ng ating mga regional qualifiers that fought for the Battle of the Champions. Yung qualifiers na yun, we had the Battle of the Champions, yung pinaka-champion, yan ang ating team na yun.
Meanwhile, Philippine officials defended the organizers of the SEA Games, and despite this pressure, they have insisted these are minor problems that are unavoidable and that we should support instead of lambast our own country in hosting this year's SEA Games. Senate President Vicente Soto recalled his experience when he competed in the men's 10-pin bowling competition in the 1978 SEA Games in Thailand. The senator said that they used to spend for their own meals and other expenses when he competed in the SEA Games decades ago.
Pero not all the time. At hindi pwedeng yung puro 5-star ang accommodation at pagkain na ibibigay mo. Ibigay natin yun sa mga atleta natin, huwag sa mga kalaban. Merong mga bansa na minsan nananagot nun, pero nung kami ang sinasagot, dinadala kami sa mga dormitoryo ng mga universidad eh. Pati dormitoryo, libre. Hindi ba? Ng mga universidad. And then, ang ginagawa pa nga, ang paliguan namin, yung common. Common lang ang paliguan. Merong para sa mga lalaki, merong floor para sa mga babae. Ganun lang. Hindi naman. Pwedeng ano yan. Pwedeng strategy yan. Bakit mag-iipon-ipon ng mga coach, gagawa ng press con, re-reklamo. Tingin ko, may suspecha akong ganun eh. Palagay ko, gatong yun. May mga naggagatong doon. Gatong yun. Hindi tama yun. Nagreklamo pala sila, talo na sila.
Sir, as a guest,
gusto nilang, nagreklamo pala sila, di wag sila sumali.
sir, as a guest,
Atin na yung gold.
For payo na lang sa ating mga kababayan, sana po ma-cheer on ninyo ang Philippine team. Kung saan po kayo malapit na merong pong games, sana makabili kayo ng ticket or kung ano man, pag-cheer na lang kayo sa labas para sa ganun mapanood kayo ng ating mga kababayan. Without the support of our Filipino people, and Filipino, fans, wala po mangyayari. We will not have the home court advantage that we need. So we need the cheerleaders. We need the Filipinos to cheer for our team. Importante yan. Kasi kung wala po kayo dyan at di po kayo nag-cheer para sa ating mga kababayan, wala po tayong home court advantage at baka mahirapan ulit ang ating mga atleta.
mga athletes natin, para maingganyo naman na lumaban despite the controversies, ay i-boost natin ang kanilang moral para manalo tayo. 6th place tayo nung nakaraang Southeast Asian Games. Sana po ay maging top 3 naman tayo. Ngayon with hometown crowd, nandito lahat yung mga Pilipino willing to cheer, willing to help, willing to volunteer. Ang dami pong mga volunteers natin sa ngayon. Salamat po sa inyong lahat. Ako po ay nakikiusap na lang, magkaisa na lang po tayo. At sana po ay manalo tayo.
They have few places to practice, no government funding, and little public support. But Vietnam's first national skateboard team are carrying high hopes of winning medals for their country. Vietnam's first skateboarding team dreams of SEA Games gold.
There's one big problems, I think. That is, Vietnam don't have the environment for skating yet. We usually skate like street skating. And I would really hope that we have a skate park, like after the SEA Games.
About SEA Games, I want to get a best result, so I got a gold or silver or everything, and come back here and get a big chain for the kid, and get them can have the skate park, the good one for practice for the next SEA Games and Olympic.
Có việc Nhật Bản được đưa vào Olympics và SEA Games thì đồng nghĩa với việc là nó cũng được coi như là một môn thể thao và mọi người có thể theo cái môn này như có thể như là một cái nghề hay là một cái sự nghiệp, chứ không đơn giản chỉ là một trò chơi ở trên đường phố nữa.
When we come back, our resident ASEAN resource person, Dr. Carlos Tabunda Jr., joins us to interview our guest for today.
With gorgeous white sandy beaches that stay cool to touch even on the hottest summer days, blue-green ocean waves, and the warm ocean breeze, there's no wonder why Dr. Beach has named Siesta Key, Florida, the #1 beach in the United States. Don't forget to watch episodes of Digital Nest every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. I'm Melissa Protest, coming to you from Siesta Key, Florida, and I am 1 with 25.
Watch your favorite Net25 shows on OSN channel 725, same day as the Philippines.
Net25 is now available on OSN, the largest entertainment network in the Middle East and North Africa.
Watch your favorite Net25 shows live
And on demand anytime, anywhere on
any mobile device on OSN Play.
Welcome back to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Kaloy Tabunda Jr. from the New Era University ASEAN Studies Center. Today, we are very much honored to have as guest Dr. Ekaterina Koldunova, the Deputy Dean of the School of Political Affairs and Associate Professor at the Department of Asian and African Studies at the MGIMO, Moscow State University for International Relations in Moscow, Russia. He is also a publishing editor of Comparative Politics Journal. Her recent book is titled, "Is This Still True? Security in East Asia, New Challenges 2010, but I understand you already published somewhere after 2010. And this is your third time actually here in the program. Whenever she comes here to the Philippines to visit us, we always make sure that our good friend here, Dr. Ekaterina Koldunova, is in the program. So you hold a PhD in International Relations and speaks, take note of this, Thai, Laotian, English, French, Italian, and German. Welcome again to the program, my dear friend Ekaterina. Okay, so just last month, President Duterte visited Russia. Actually, it's his second visit, right? But the first one was aborted because of the Marawi incident. Okay, what can you say about this recent state of relationship between our two countries?
Well, I will start with saying that President Duterte is extremely popular in Russia. And indeed he's popular among all generations, both elder persons and younger persons, and we regretted very much when he had to stop his visit
because of the Marawi incident.
Because of the Marawi incident, because we in GIMOR expected him to come to receive his honorary doctorship that time yet back. And this time his visit happily was a complete and comprehensive one, and I think that this is a great kickoff for our relations in all spheres. This is not just a symbol of his personal involvement and his personal interest to strengthen and to contribute to Russo-Filipino relations. It's also a signal to all his bureaucracy, as I got it, but also to our bureaucracy that we can actually do it together. And that's not a secret that the Philippines were not high on Russia's radar before Duterte sent this very important signal to us.
Okay, you said that he's very popular in Russia right now. Why?
Well, I think that's
rock star popular.
That's a part of Russian mentality to adore strong men, people who can have their say in the international relations, and equally, I think that's a phenomena which resembles President Putin's popularity among general public in many countries. And of course, he's a great personality. He can talk to people on their language, and well, people do respect that. For example, when he was addressing our young generation, our students at my university, he was very well received because he, well, I would not say that he simplified things. He addressed very complex things. How can you manage a very difficult international situation? How should well, small nations and big nations interact? How to stay wise and not to lose one's head when you encounter difficulties, and how to muddle through them. So that's resonated very positively among the staff, among the professors and students alike.
So what are the positive effects of this visit of President Duterte in terms of course, the politics, the economy, the economic relationship? Can you name some of them?
Well, I think that first and foremost, it's important that we have this very intensive type of dialogue now. And this is not just about personal connections between the presidents. Before coming to Moscow this time, President Duterte addressed Valdai Discussion Club.
Valdai. So he was in Valdai.
Yeah, okay. He was in Sochi in Valdai.
Okay.
And this is a very important public platform for discussing the most important international problems and concerns. Then, secondly, he brought equally the previous time, and this time he brought a very representative delegation of ministers and other statesmen who interacted with their counterparts in Russia and managed to establish the direct contacts between themselves and their Russian counterparts. Secondly, within the recent years, we have a great expansion of our bilateral documents, which can frame our interaction further in many spheres. Finally, but probably most importantly, the business community from both countries are starting to learn more about each other, starting to figure out what we can do together, and that's a great positive development.
Actually, as we talk right now, there's a delegation of Russian businessmen who are here in the Philippines.
Right.
What do you think are they looking for here now?
Well, they're looking for mutual projects, which might go beyond just simple trade relations, because it's not a secret that the Philippines and Russia are not very close geographically, though in terms of logistics and infrastructure there might be definite connections. But what can Russia propose to the Philippines and to Southeast Asia as well as a region lays in the fields of technological innovations, cybersecurity.
You're very much advanced there.
High-tech additions to all kind of well, recent developments in the practically every sphere of life. So that I think that should and must resonate very positively among the Filipinos, among Southeast Asian nations, because we are on the verge of the fourth industrial revolution, and who knows how it will end up. We need to get prepared.
Okay, before Duterte, Russia is far from the radar of most Filipinos, and I think that's also the same thing for Russians vis-a-vis Filipinos. You said earlier that President Duterte is very popular among Russians. How do Russians regard Filipinos?
Well, Russians regard all nations of Southeast Asian region very positively.
Okay.
And I'll try to briefly explain why. So this statement stretches to the Filipinos alike. Russia is a huge country with very difficult climate, with many hardships you need to overcome
the coldest
to survive. And the Philippines
okay.
is it's vice versa in every respect to what we encounter in Russia every day. You're smiling, you're friendly, you have nice climate, well, hurricanes apart, and well, you're open actually to every type of communications.
Yes.
So I think Russians very much lack this kind of approach.
So you admit it, you don't smile often.
Well, we smile. If we try hard, we will smile.
Okay.
But in the everyday life, you see, you go outside of your apartment, and the snowfall comes, and the very, the very trip to your working place might be a huge challenge. A huge challenge.
Because of the snow.
We are smiling inside, and to bring this inside smile out, it takes some time. But once we make friends, we make them for the whole life.
That's true, because of course our initial impression of Russians as Filipinos, we get it from Hollywood James Bond movies where the we call that contrabida, where the anti-heroes are all Russians. But when you get to experience Russian hospitality, Russian friends, you realize that they're warm. So you're actually warm.
Thank you.
Inside. It's just a matter of
but
getting
to discover
that out.
it, you also need to do some work.
Okay, so going back to our previous stuff, so where do you think this relationship is going, and how can this be sustained even after Duterte?
Well, hopefully there will be a systemic after effect, and even with or without Duterte, certain links will be working systematically. But that's a two-way road. We need to see how this very initially so far steps will go further. But if there will be a critical mass of people interested in each other, who will act as
who will continue this
relationship, then hopefully
positive things will come out of this relationship.
This will stay for a longer period.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Condonova. Thank you very much. And catch the full end of this interview with Dr. Condonova in ASEAN in Focus Weekend Edition. In the meantime, I'm Kaloy Tabundo Jr., and I'm on with 25. Back to you, Maricar.
Thank you, Dr. Kaloy. And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Maricar Velasco, and I'm one with 25.
Sa kasalukuyan ay sunod-sunod ang iba't ibang kalamidad sa ating bansa. Baha, landslide, lindol. Kumikitil ito ng maraming buhay ng tao. Sumisira ng mga ari-arian. Hindi man mapipigilan ng mga kalamidad, subalit kung susundin ang lahat ng mga babala, ay mababawasan ng pinsala at tulog.
Ang susunod na programa ay rated PG. Ito ay nangangailangan ng patnubay at gabay ng magulang para sa mga batang manonood.